It's time for Cutting Edge Consciousness with Freeman Michaels and Barnet Bain. Thought-provoking discussions and bold ideas from the edge of possibility.
And we are back. This is Barnet Bain here with my co-host and buddy Freeman Michaels and Bordop Barry, of course, on Cutting Edge Consciousness. And it is always wonderful to spend time with Deirdre. We're beginning to resume normal frequency here in the room.
I'm riding that sucker all the way.
It just kind of... it just
so
sort of
great.
Floats down. It's like, it reminds me of a slow motion swan dive into a mattress of goose down. It's just the most gentle, the whole air thickens when I'm speaking with her. She once called me up. I have to just say that I have to throw this out. One time I'm sitting incredibly stressed, and I get this phone call from Deirdre, and she says, I was just thinking of you, and you felt stressed.
Oh, my gosh. Talk about
sit down.
Tuned
this
in.
is so great. She says, she's so psychic. She says, sit down. If you have a minute. I say, I really I'll make a minute. So I sit down, and she begins to talk, and I fall into this beautiful, I want to use the word hypnagogic state, but that's not at all what it is.
Yeah.
It's not at all what it is.
Yeah.
But it is this transmission of resonance, of energy that is so supportive, and it's palpable.
It's delicious.
It's
just delicious.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
She did this for about 10 minutes. Totally shifted the... But every time I'm speaking with her, I can feel it. Even on the radio, it's the most amazing thing.
Yeah, we were at the 11-11-11 event.
11-11-11.
11-11-11. That she... you
had a super gulp, so that was 7-11-11.
That's a little different. And it was... I've been in rooms where the energy got very hot. It got very warm.
Yeah.
The only difference with this experience was I was very warm, but I wasn't sweating. It was very warm. It was warm-hearted is the way I would describe it. And that's it. The room was buzzing. She had these incredible crystal bowls, and she was, creating this literally vibratory frequency that you could hear and feel and whatnot. But then the element of warmth, again, I'm saying warm-heartedness. I want more of that.
Yeah. I want that.
And I've experienced it. I know what she's talking
Rhinebeck,
about.
New York.
Yeah.
June 8th. You can get some.
Yeah.
You can get some of that.
Yeah, the presence.
Or you can just tune into it.
That's the issue.
Or you can listen to it. You can replay this when it's available on a podcast, and you will find very dramatically that if your intention is to tune into it, it will drop you into a different resonance. It absolutely will.
The part we started talking about, which, we can track back a little bit, even though we've covered it. It's so important to cover it in this context. So the idea of integration, to integrate, the first way that I came to that was part of what we've called the second story. It was in order to achieve more. It was not for its own sake, at least when I initially came to it. It's like, I got to get this figured out and mastered so that I can,
So I can get more.
Get more, exactly. And what I like about this next piece, it has nothing to do with those results. Whether those results come, don't come, it's totally inconsequential. It is for its own sake, because it is such a worthy pursuit for this very generous offer of more of me in the world, and the essence of me, the quality of me, the uniqueness of me.
As you say that, it occurs to me, I suddenly got it in a whole different perspective. It moves from, it's a movement of energy from personal empowerment to global empowerment, community empowerment. From personal consciousness, as we work on personal consciousness, it suddenly uplifts in a moment to an expression of global consciousness. So you work with a frequency, and you modulate a frequency. You change the amplitude of a frequency as a result of working with thought and belief and choice and decision and attitude and feeling, etc., and it shifts you in the microcosm. And in very short order, a miracle at a time, you begin to see it reflected in the global consciousness.
And that's a pretty big for the sake of.
That's a big for sake of.
You talk about
the next piece is you begin to realize, wow, I am in relationship with the whole thing.
Well, that all that is.
I am.
Yes. I am
connected to the entire thing. It is all me, and we begin. Even though most of me is still, it's still too much for me to grok in the heart. But in the head, I sort of conceptualize it. Yeah, I get it theoretically. But experientially, no. And then piece by piece, we have these peak moments where we experience
They're
ourselves
clicks.
reflected back.
They're clicks. And here's the interesting part. The clicks don't happen in the head. The clicks happen in the heart. So there are moments where it's a heart-opening moment. There's a click in the heart, and then things fall into place. You know, we think it's a head trip, but it's not. I mean, the head can be there. It's not good or bad.
It's a both end.
It's a both end.
It's a both. It's
yeah,
a
but
both
I
end.
see it as a click.
It's not a heart thing at the expense of the head. It's a move beyond logic and reason without losing sight of logic and reason.
Right.
It's a move into a relationship with uncertainty, making room for the place that has certainty. It is another dimensional piece. It's adding on another story to the house without brooming the first story.
Yeah, so you don't have to give up your old toolbox to take on the new toolbox.
Yeah.
If you have the old ruler,
remember those great old toolboxes like fishing? Remember those like fishing boxes, and they were like green or brown. You crank them open, they'd unfold like a Swiss Army knife with like 3 shelves.
Yeah.
3 tiers of shelving that would come out, and you'd have lures in them. It's that.
Do you remember when you were a little kid, though, and that was so thrilling?
It's still thrilling.
I can get in there. There's all this little stuff.
Still like sinkers and
yeah.
So it's that you're opening your toolbox, and suddenly there's an entire another tier.
And then you go
of
fishing.
Shelving with
Wait a minute. Then you go fishing, and all you use is marshmallows.
Just marshmallows.
The only way to actually catch the fish is with marshmallows
and worms. Or you go to Troutdale in Laurel Canyon. Where you don't even have to get out of the car.
You pay $20.
$20. You roll down the windows, and they jump in the windows. Just take me home and batter me up.
That's a diversion.
How is that? Did we go off the path there?
Oh, yeah, we completely left. It's so fantastic. Hey, let's go back to this biggering concept, because that's
you
where
really want to do that.
Well, because that's what we're talking about. And so the idea that there are people who've become very comfortable with this way of operating,
growing into their large, growing into their
large.
Self,
I like that.
Into their their larger integrity, into a future self, into an optimal self, into a higher self. They're all different.
Yeah,
they're not all the same.
They're nuanced, different.
However you want to layer them.
Yeah, it goes back though to this unique expression of me as a frequency. Right, that it's both. It is part of the collective. I am.
It's the me to we conversation we had here a few times, where we remember we had a talk here about shifting, reframing how we relate and discuss ourselves from the I, not in any kind of altruistic we are the world kind of thing, but from a growing awareness that I am a system, I am a complexity, I'm a multidimensionality, and all of these aspects of myself occur and are alive and are sentient and conscious at once in real time, and I am more appropriately a we.
Yeah, and the we even includes all these fragments, these little aspects of me that here to now I haven't known what to do with. They come along too. And the whole thing represents, me, and what our world as a mirror represents is the ways that shows up for me. That my unique filtering process and generative process creates in front of me a reality that fits. It fits with my experience. And to the degree that I work on this integration piece, where I'm more present and I'm allowing that which shows up to be whatever part of me is getting expressed without the resistance, without the denial.
You get intense.
Yeah, it just goes, wow, this is a trip. And it's pretty exciting to begin to open to this new way of viewing ourselves and the world around us. This new radiant presence.
Yeah.